Hi, I'm Mandeep Singh, founder of Mandeeps.com, and in this video we'll be working with layers in our Live Slider module. So let's get started. What I have here is the installation of .NET Ink 7, and I have the Live Slider module already installed and placed on the page. You can refer to our installation and activation video and also the getting started video if you'd like. And what I'm going to do now is jump right into the manage. And so far we have no slides, so let me go ahead and just add a background image to my first slide and create another slide and add another image. I'll just add that one right there. So now I have two slides and I can see the preview. Slide number 1, and it's going to transition to slide number 2. So that's what I have right now. Now what I'm going to do is work on slide number 1 and work with layers. Now you could add as many layers as you want to a single slide. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to go ahead and add a layer, and let's look at a couple of different things. First of all, I can give a layer a name. Right now it's called layer number 1, and a layer can be an image, it could be a video, and any other HTML code. It could be a paragraph, a span, or any of the headings, all from 1 to 6. Let's start with an image. I'm going to go ahead and click here and choose an image. I'll just use the portal logo here, and I can bring the preview in view. I can see that the layer I just added appears here. I'm going to go ahead and just name this, so once I have a lot of layers it's easy to understand what's going on. I'm going to bring that here in the center right here. Now I can position, as you see, the layers anywhere I want by just simply dragging and dropping them. Let me go ahead and add another layer, and this one I will say it's going to be just a heading, and I'm going to say Live Slider is awesome, and I will just say Live Slider is awesome here, so I know what that is. Again, I can bring in my preview, and I see that I have the layer here, and I can move this down here. Now let's cover the styling tab really quick. The layout and position basically lets me decide how big do I want the layer to be. For example, I could say I just want it to be 200 pixel, and you can see now it's divided, split into 3 different rows because it's forcing it to be that width. Similarly, I can say I only want it to be 100 pixel height, and now that's not going to work here because there's not enough content. So but if you have a lot of content and you want to force a specific width and height, you could do that. For right now I'm going to take these off. As you can see, I had moved my layer and positioned it. When I do that, this top and left position automatically change. If you want a precise placement, or if you ever want to place your layers outside of the staging area you see here, you could use this directly. Let's go ahead and give this a background really quick. I'm going to give it a white background, and I'm going to change the color to something else just to kind of show. Let's just make it blue. There we go. Now I can also go ahead and give it a font size, maybe 20 pixel font size. There you go. How about 24 pixel? Just a little bit better. If you want to give it a line height, you could. If you want to give it a font, you could, and so forth. Similarly with padding, I'm going to say I want a 10 pixel padding across, so I'll just go ahead and do that. And as you can see now, I have the 10 pixel padding all across. I can say I want it to be rounded corners, so there we go. And I can always give it a border, so let me say, how about a 2 pixel solid black border? That looks good. Now I have full control. I can just give it a border at the bottom right there to give it that nice effect, and that looks nice. How about I make it 5 pixel, about 3 pixel. That's pretty good. I like what I see, so we'll just keep that here at this point. That's styling tab. It allows you to have full access over your layer, whether it's a H1 tag, an image, or whatever. Now let's say if you really wanted to get custom, you have custom CSS. Let's say I want it to have an opacity of let's say 70%. I can go ahead and do that too, and that will work as well. So as you can see now, I have a 70% opacity and so forth. So I'm going to take this out, and that pretty much covers the styling tab. Now I could go ahead and make these layers individual links. So for example, clicking on this layer would take me somewhere else, clicking on this layer would take me somewhere else. This is in addition to having a link for the entire slide. So clicking on anywhere in the slide will take me here. So that's again a nice option. We've already covered the basic tab where we can add an image and other type of content. So that leaves us to the options tab. And let's take a look at that, because that's where the magic happens. Options is basically the transitions. They define how your layers will come into the stage and how they leave. So transition in applies to when your layer is appearing in the stage. For example, this is where wherever you drop your layers, where the layer will appear on the stage. Now you're asking, where should it come from? So by default, we're saying have it appear 80 pixels from the right. Let me play this so you'll understand. See, both layers appeared 80 pixels on the right and they transitioned in from there. Now I could just as easily go ahead and say I want it to appear where they are. So if I make that 0, they will just fade in right there. As you can see, I only made the change to the live sliders layer and not to the portal layer, so that worked just fine. Just to kind of make it simple, I'm gonna go ahead and go to options here in portal logo and make it hidden, so we're only looking at one for now. And at any time you could have unlimited layers here, so anytime if you click or drag on the layer in the staging, it will automatically get selected on the top. So I just clicked here so I know what I'm working on. Now it faded in. Let's take a look at it again. It faded in because we have the fade option enabled, so I'm gonna go ahead and turn that off. Let's look at preview again, and this time you see it just kind of pops out. Now I could just as easily say, we're looking at the built-in documentation, that I could have said I want this to come in from left. Let's take a look at that. Now it appears from the left or right for that matter. Or I could have said I want it to come from top and make it 0 here. Now it's going to appear from the top, and there it is. Or I could do both. I want it to appear from top left. If I do that, it will appear from top left. So that's easy to understand. Now the next here is duration. Basically, how long should it take for transitioning for it to appear in? As you can see right now it's taking 1 second to appear in, and let's just do this again from the top. Now if I preview this, it takes a second for it to appear. If I change this value, which is in milliseconds, to let's say 4,000, it's going to take 4,000 milliseconds, which is 4 seconds, to come down, and you can see it'll be a small scroll down. Alright, so we've got that covered as well. So next thing we want to do is, now since I'm going to be continuing doing preview back and forth here, and I really don't want it to go on the next slide for now, I'm going to go ahead and delete the slide 2. Okay, back to our slide number 1, and so far we've covered offset X, Y, and duration. Let's look at delay. Delay basically says that this layer should delay for the specified amount of time before coming in. For example, if you take a look right now, as soon as I hit play, the layer comes out. It takes a while because we have this set to 4 seconds. Let me just make it a second here, and you'll see that it starts coming in at the same time. Now let's say I wanted to wait for 2 seconds before starting to come in, and it will do that exactly. We'll wait 2 seconds and now it will come right in. So that's what the delay does. We've already looked at what fade does, so let's take a look at rotate. Rotate allows us to rotate the layer. Now we can do either clockwise or anti-clockwise, depending on the degree angle we specify. So I'm just gonna say, don't come from the top, just appear where you are, and I don't even want to delay. Let's look at rotate. I'm gonna say rotate 90-degree angle when you come in, and as you can see, it was at 90-degree angle and it flipped clockwise. If I wanted to go the other way, I will make this -90, and that will do that as well. Now if I want to flip it completely, I'll do 180 degrees, and if I wanted to go in a circle, it would be a 360 degree. Remember, you could do this with combination of all other parameters, so I can still say I want you to come in from the top left, and left top, sorry, and rotate 360 degrees, and there we go. We see that it rotates 360 degrees and comes from the top left. Alright, now very interesting properties here. One of the most important ones is the easing, which gives you very nice effects. So let's say I have it coming from top, and I'm going to just say I want it to let's see, ease out back or ease in back. Let's do that and see what that does. You can see that it comes in. Let's do ease out back and see how that works. There you go. It kind of backs out a little bit before it kind of coming and just doing a hard hit. So that's our easing. Now this was a rotate completely 90 degrees, and this is a rotate on the horizontal. So for example, this was a Z degree rotate and this is an X degree rotate. Let me show you. Do a 90 degree here, and you can see it's gonna do a 90 degree flip. I have it up here where it is. It's gonna do a 90 degree flip on itself. Pretty neat. I can go ahead and do it at 180 as well, and kind of flips on itself. I can do the same thing on Y axis and it will flip the other way around. So pretty cool. I can go ahead and use a combination of all these effects to do any kind of animation I like. Similarly, we could do skewing on it, and we can also do scaling. For example, I could say when you come in, be twice your size, and we'll see it'll be twice the size. Let's take the rotation out so we can see this better. It'll be twice its size, and they'll shrink down. So I can say it could be 4 times its size. Now remember, I was doing just x-axis. If I want the whole image size up proportionally, I'll do that both x and y, and you can see it's going to be 4 times its size, and I'll just go down. So again, pretty neat stuff. Well, let's go ahead and take a look at the transition out really quick. Now once your slide is in, for right now all I'm saying is just appear. Let me say come from the top. There we go. Come from the top and stay there, and then I want the slide to basically go to the bottom to disappear. So the first thing we have to decide, how long do we want to show the slide, the layer till. If I leave this value to 0, it's going to stay there for the entire slide. But let's say I want this slide, I want this layer to be shown for let's say 2 seconds, and then I want it to not do anything with the x-axis but disappear in the bottom. And I want to take up that again, the same thing, a second to do the animation, and then this one can do ease let's see, ease in back. Okay, let's take a look, and there we go. It's gonna go right down after 2 seconds. So pretty cool. Now we don't have to do bottom or top, we can do precise pixels. For example, I just want it to let's say have it go down 200 pixels, and that will work just as fine. And same thing, fading, scaling, skewing, we have all that same options here. So for now I'm gonna go ahead and show you one more cool effect, and that is the parallax effect. Now if I change this option to 1, what's going to happen is your layer is going to respond to your mouse movement. You see, as my mouse moves left, right, up and down, the layer kind of moves with it. And you can control the sensitivity based on the values. If I make this a 5 and I do a preview again, you'll see that it moves a lot more than it was moving before. This lets you create some really cool effects. And I can go ahead and make this a 10, and you can see that it's a lot more sensitive now. So that's some really cool effects there. Now you could literally take these options and create an entire scene or a movie scene out of these. Now I'm not gonna go into detail of creating one, but what I will do is I do have a demo already created that's on our site as well. I will import that in really quick, and I will show it to you how that looks. So, and as you can see on the real life here, I have the parallax applied and it's working. But I'm going to go ahead and go to import content, and I already have in my site root a template that is saved. I'm going to import that in. And what I have here is a slider, and as you can see, all the movement, all the animation, they're all individual layers. So every single fish is a layer, and then that's a new slide. All the cubes moving up and down are layers. Let me go ahead and show that to you really quick before I wrap this video up. So in this particular module, I have 5 slides. And let me bring my preview in. There's the first one. As you can see, there's the corresponding background images, and there's so many layers. Every single one of them is named. I can click on a layer and I can see its option up here on the top, and vice versa. I'm going to jump to slide number 2 and really quick show to you what's going on. As you can see, there's a bunch of different slides. Let's look at this particular cube here, and there's its options. So just watch the cube as I'm going to play the slide, see what it does. You'll see the cube came from the top, kind of bounced back and forth, and then it leaves to the right, and that kind of corresponds with what's here. It's coming from the top. It takes 3 seconds to appear. It is using ease out elastic, which gives the bounce effect, and when it's time to leave, it goes towards the right. Takes 1.5 seconds to do that, and then it uses the ease in back effect for the bouncing in and out. Pretty easy, right? And once you got one of these cubes set up, all you gotta do is pretty much click copy layer and do it as many times as you want. For this case, I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so I create 5 layers. Just rearrange their positions where you want them to be, and you're done. For me to change the cubes to bigger, I do the same thing. Just copy the layer and go back to your basic tab and swap for a different image. So this copy layer is a pretty handy and useful feature that lets you do that. When you want to remove a layer, you can go ahead and hit delete layer. And then one more thing I want to show you before I wrap this video is at slide number 1 here. When you have so many layers, as you can see, this slide has so many layers, and they're overlapping each, and sometimes the layer you want to work with is behind some other layer. Then what you can do is under options, you can turn the hidden property off, so the layer is hidden for, turn it on, I'm sorry, so the layer is hidden temporarily and you can basically see what's behind it, or turn on all the layers off and just see the one you're working with. If you look at slide number 3, number 4, and number 5, you see we have a video here in number 5, and videos are also layers. They're just as easy to do. All you have to do is basically change the type to video and HTML and paste in your code that you get from YouTube or Vimeo. In this case, we have the Vimeo video playing, and I can show you that the video auto plays, and video auto plays because we have a setting in our main slider settings for videos where we say automatically play videos, and then we'll pause the slideshow when the videos are being played. So that's it for this video, where we've covered how layers work and literally allow you complete flexibility to create any scene you like. It's really limited by your own imagination at this point. Thank you so much for watching the video, and if you have any questions or concerns, please do let us know.